There we go. Hey, this is Tom trying again from A/B Split Test. And today I'm going to talk about split testing using AI, WordPress, open source, privacy, and everything to do with split testing. We've got some new updates that I want to talk about, and we can discuss any best practices at all that you want to talk about. So let's jump into it. If you were on my stream last week, sorry about that. That was my first stream of all time. And I really didn't know what I was doing, but we gave it a shot, and I think we're much better prepared today. But still, we're gonna be fresh. So thanks for sticking with me. So like I said, yeah, let's talk about split testing. If you have any questions at all, anything that you want to try and do with split test, anything that you have questions about, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Hello, Rob. Thanks for coming in. G'day. Buenos dias. G'day. All right. So this is one that I've been working on really hard for the last couple of weeks that I'm super excited about, is our new version 1.9.2. This is coming out later today or tomorrow. We're in the final stages of testing. I'll give you a walkthrough of it now. But it's got a few great things that we didn't have before. Now we are including AI credits in every single plan. We had a lot of people that used A/B split test and didn't see the information on adding like an OpenAI key, or weren't sure how to do that or why to do that or anything like that. So we've realized that it just makes more sense to just offer the AI built in. We put a ton of work into this lately, and to not have it available to people just seems like a crazy idea. So if you're on a current solo plan, you'll get 20 credits per month. If you're on an annual plan, you get that all in one go. So you'll get 240 credits to use over the year. Same with the agency. You get 80 credits per month, or whatever that is, over a year. If you're on a lifetime plan, you get 2 years worth of credits included in that lifetime plan. So if you had a solo lifetime, you would have for 480 credits. Is that right? 20? Yeah. That you can use over the lifetime of your plan. Now, after that's over, you can add your own OpenAI key or get in touch with us and we can add some more credits for you if you want. If you're on an old subscription, an old plan, we hadn't factored in for the pricing for AI, etc. So we'll give you 30 credits per year, so you can still optimize your site a ton, and you might not need any more than 30 credits per year. So let's jump over and I'll show you what is included. This is a preview of our new version 1.9.2. I did this again last week and everything crashed because we were on a development version, but I'm going to give it another shot because I like to live dangerously. So what this is now is we've got a new Insights tab that uses AI to scrape the entire contents of your website. So this gets your homepage. It guesses your funnel. Now this is a dev site that looks like garbage. So if I take you over here to it, it's got no content or anything really. It's just it's pretty ugly. So the AI suggestions won't be too great on here, but they give you some very valid feedback. Like there's no visible customer reviews, testimonials, no trust issues. The content suggestions are all pretty good. And also, you know, they're talking about some other issues that come from having a website that's just basically empty. So this will be rolling out across everything in our new versions. And we're also going to improve it even further, where you'll be able to click on these test suggestions and that will automatically launch a new magic test. So I'll show you guys the magic tests now, because that is the best new juice that we've got. That is an ugly page. Let's not use that one. All right, here we go. We've got an Elementor page. Just the standard generic fill-in stuff. So to create a test on this page, you don't need a marketing team. You don't need anything. You can go to A/B split test and new magic test. Now, again, this is updated from the previous magic test version where you had to add your own OpenAI key. That's no longer necessary. So you can click on the element that you want to take a swing at optimizing. You click on it and the AI thinks for a while. It uses all those insights that I just previously showed you to generate content that is written in a similar tone of voice. Again, the tone of voice isn't really good on this site because it's a dev site, so you'll have to use your imagination. But all you have to do is click on the variations to create your split test. So you'll see here you've got the original and we've got the variations here. You can edit them however you like as well. You don't just have to choose AI, or you can add your own if you don't want to use AI at all. If you want to add multiple elements, you simply add an extra element. So maybe we want to test the text underneath the heading as well. Keep it all going. So let's just throw something in there. Beyond that, it's all pretty standard split testing stuff. So we can create a conversion on element click, and then we can just click on the element. So when someone clicks on this contact us button, that will trigger the conversion. So as you've seen in about the last 20 seconds plus me blabbing, we've created a split test. We're swapping out this text and this text with these alternate versions. All you need to do is hit start test and it is off and running. All right, there we go. So now we can refresh the page and we can check out what we've just done, and we can click to see the different variations. You'll see now as well, when you click on a split test variation, it scrolls it into view and gives it a little wiggle dance. We heard from a few people that it was hard to find your split test variations to get back to view it. So now if you click, it'll scroll you into the list, and the same thing with your results. What else is new? That's not the right one. All right, what else is new? Okay, yes. So we've got a bunch of other updates that are going to be super helpful for you. Our server-side events, if you've used our custom WooCommerce tracking or Google Tag Manager tracking or anything like that, when there was a server-side conversion event, that didn't trigger anything in analytics. So now it does. So you can do any crazy server conversions or PHP conversions that you think or want, and that'll still push the analytics events through into whatever you're using, all the 20 different analytics we support. What else? Yeah, as I just showed you before, the links to the test variations now scroll into the view. We can have a look at this if we come over to, this is a side business that I use to test split testing on. But you can see we've got some tests running here. And if we go into the Google review text we're running, we can click on the visits, and then we can click on this, and that's going to link us directly to the D variation of that magic test. And again, we can toggle through them all like that. Yeah, so that's the link to the test variation. Yes, also now when a test variation is visible, so for example, that's a good one, is this Google rating test down here. Previously, when someone would load the page, it would log a visit to the test variation, even if the person had not scrolled down to the element. So previously, if this page had loaded, that Google review text would not have, would have triggered a visit, which, while it averages out and is pretty much what all the other solutions do, we thought it's not quite accurate enough. So We worked on this, and now once you scroll into view, once the actual element that we're testing becomes visible, that's when a test visit is triggered. So we've had a bunch of people that want to test pop-up content and things like that. And this will work a ton better now for people like that. So when the pop-up actually displays and it actually shows the split tested content, then you will see that data display on the back end. All right. And also another one for Zach Pyle, who didn't want to use A/B split test inside the block editor. We've now added a class, A/B split test attributes, and that will now enable you to hide the on-page element testing items if you want. Okay, let's scroll on down. Okay, JRMN asks, thanks for your question. Is it possible to split test elements on Bricks builder templates on custom post types that are used with dynamic ACF fields? That's a lot of different levels. I think so. Let's have a look here. I'll see if I can find this site with Bricks, and we can see if we can do that. I'm not sure quite what you mean by with dynamic ACF fields. Do you mean like configuring like 3 different inputs inside ACF and then swapping those options out to display? Or I'm not entirely sure what you mean by the dynamic ACF fields part of the things. But let's activate Bricks, and I'll give you a tour of how it's all working around there. All right, here we go. Bricks, we'll activate that. We've recently added Avada theme compatibility. If you have ever been a Theme Forest fan, they do some things their own weird way. So we've added compatibility for those guys. Okay, let's go to templates. Oh. Bricks template, that's the one we wanted. Okay, so this is a Bricks heading, but it works much the same as any other template. It could be a page template or a post template or anything like that. Let's have a look here. Bricks marionette is not defined. Okay, I might need to update my bricks. Here we go. All right, Bricks is doing something funny. What I'll do, I'll show you with a thema layout, which is basically exactly the same thing as it's the same in all the different builders. So let's build a post layout, and again, it could be any. There we go. It could be any builder at all, but we'll just stick with this. Blog singles already assigned. That's okay. Okay, so back to part 2 of your question that I use with dynamic ACF fields. Can't be 100% sure what you mean by that. Feel free to leave me more information if I'm on the right track or not on the right track. But let's go here and we'll add in some modules. And again, you can use any post information you want. So you could add your ACF however you want here. But let's drop in, doesn't really matter, the post title. And then inside that, you go to the advanced tab, which again is exactly the same as bricks. And then we can come down here and create a new test. So this is a heading test, it's called, but we can call it whatever we want. And our conversion can again be the same thing. Let's say it's e-commerce and we want people to reach our checkout. So we can save and create that test. And then we've got that item, and then all we need to do is duplicate it and create our alternative. Oh, sorry, we didn't give it a variation name, did we? There we go. Heading test. So we call that the heading test, and we call it the original. We can call it whatever we want, but if we call it the original or the default, anyone that gets skipped will see the original. Over here, then we do the same thing. We choose the same test, and we give it a new name. So we call that one new. Okay, you got some more information here. To clarify, I mean using templates on a custom post where custom fields are used instead of post on, where elects are used, which are loaded by dynamic CF. Okay, so if you have different elements, sorry, I mean using templates on a custom post type where custom fields are used instead of post content. Or elects are used, which are loaded by dynamic CF. Do you have a link to a page I could have a look at to explain this a little bit better? I think I understand what you're saying, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the way you would do it is this is a post content block here in Beaver Builder, which is the same thing, and you would just go the same way and go advanced, create a test, and tag it, and then you would create a second post area with your other post content. So maybe you've got one section of post content and then the other section of your advanced fields. Then you would tag the alternate information with the ACF fields. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But feel free to send a link to us with any pages, and we can with the page content, and we can have a deeper dive into it. It also helps us a lot when we're doing testing to just understand what your goal is of the test. A lot of the time, people will say, like, I'm trying to create a test with a conversion to click on this button. Like, how come I can't click on it, or how do I make the click happen, or something like that. And while it's a valid request, there sometimes is a better way about doing things. And myself and my support team are big on finding the most ideal way of doing it. So some people spend a lot of time using our sort of more complicated class-based selectors and conversions and fingerprints and things like that, when a lot of the time you don't have to do it. So please reach out to our support team anytime with links to the page and the goal of what you're trying to optimize. Cool. But thanks for your question on that one. I hope I explained some stuff, made a bit more sense. Okay. Back to our update. This is a few things that we've updated. Like I was saying, the tag manager events. All right, and our CRO tip of the week. So I thought today we could talk about why revenue per visitor is the key metric for your e-commerce success. This is a screenshot that isn't showing revenue per visitor. It's just showing some classic results. But we're using it to indicate the difference between split testing with a regular conversion metric like page visits or form submissions or something like that versus e-commerce conversion calculations. And with that, you use revenue per visitor. So again, I'll jump back to our guinea pig website and we'll come down to a test that is doing order variation. Okay, so you can see here we've got our original variation, which is this book now button, and then variation, and variation B, which is, which one is it? It's this one down here. That's why the new scrolling feature is going to be a handy one to have. So yeah, here are our two variations, and we'll jump back to it. But basically the idea is this chunk of text isn't very engaging at all, so we're trying something else to see if it affects our orders and gets us more orders. So you'll see the original variation has had conversions over the lifetime of this test, running in about a month now. It's had $3,828 worth of orders placed that have seen that variation. Over the 1,390 visits, that means that each visitor is worth $2.75 per visit to the website. So other than being a lovely metric to just give you an idea of how a website's working, it's a very nice and simple thing to say. Version 1's making me $1 per visit. Version 2 is making me $1.10 per visit, and so on and so forth. So it's a really nice feeling metric for us to understand, but also the statistics engines run absolutely wonderfully using this, using the revenue per visit. So let me show you another one here to give you some examples. This is our book now button. I showed you that one by accident just before, but we'll come back to it. There it is. So we've got get a book now or get a locker. So we see book now variation A has had an average revenue per visit of $1.66 to variation B's $2.16. So obviously that's a much better sounding revenue per visit. This test hasn't concluded yet because based on the stats, there's still the chance that some of those conversion dollars were from an outsider. For context, this website, the average order is about $40 or $50. But every now and then someone subscribes for like a yearly plan that's $1,200. So based on that, it would be unwise to call this a winner because it's up by $700, because all it takes is one $1,200 order to swing it entirely the other way. So those stats are all being done live right now, and that's what you see in the chance of winning. It's likely that that's going to be the winner, but if you're going to stake your business on it, if you're going to stake your reputation on it to your client or whatever it is, you don't have enough information yet. So all you need to do is turn on the autocomplete in the settings if you want, and this will, once it's figured out enough information, it'll show the winner to everyone automatically. Otherwise, you'll just get an email when we have enough data and you can jump in manually and make any updates that you want. All right, where were we up to here? Okay, so that was our CRO tip of the week. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to let me know, jump them in the chat. I'll stick around as long as people are asking questions or want to say anything. Yeah, let me know in the chat here. And if you're sticking around and you're looking to get started or it all looks good, you want to upgrade, use our discount code Optimize30. And that is available right now only during the live stream. So feel free to go sign up with that right now. Once the stream ends, the discount will be gone. Okay, so we got a question from Daniel. Thank you very much. And Daniel asks, can we do A/B testing for pricing? Yes. So most of the time when people are looking to do testing for pricing, they want to make sure that the pricing on the product page is a different price, and then they also want to make sure that the pricing in the sort of product list is correct. So the best way to do that is to create a magic test. Now, this does take a little bit of code know-how, and I've got a fair bit of custom code here, so this might not be the best place to do it. But if you were to test the pricing of an all-day locker, for example, here, generally it's $40. But what you can do is you can find the selector of it, and we'll see that that's not the correct selector. What we can do is we can put in the WooCommerce pricing ID selector. Now, I don't know if this is the best spot to show it again. Where can I go? We can go back to our dev site. Here we go. So we'll try this again. If you right-click on an element to check it out, you'll see you've got WooCommerce price amount. So this is what we want to add as our selector, because this will change for both of them. Now, you might have thought that's not specific enough, and you're right. You would need to grab the parent of it as well. So it takes a little bit of CSS knowledge at this stage, but this is how we do it. So we go new magic test, and then we want to add our element selector. So we want to choose our post 224, which is the product, and then we want to choose the price amount. And there we go. So variation A will be the original amount. Sorry, maybe not specific enough. Okay, so let's jump into the product and do it. Sorry, we've got a bad site here. Do you have a link of a site? I can show you how you would set it up if you would like. Otherwise, what's another Woo site that I have a traditional layout on? Let's say, let's go into our other. Two, 0, 6, 1. Sorry, I got that two-factor authentication that makes everything take forever. Here we go. All right, let's see if this is going to work better for us. There we go. So yes, we need the product code, post 704, and then the price amount. Okay, and we've got the question, can we do pricing testing simply on the product ID? That is on the roadmap that's coming out soon. You will just have a mode to choose product ID and add the price. But yeah, at this stage, it's this CSS method. So like we said, we'll create the magic test. Post 704 price amount. Okay, there seems to be something going on there. So we're using one of the older versions here, so I can I'll create a blog post on this and send it out in the next email so we can get into it a bit more. But yeah, WooCommerce is a section that we're spending a lot of time coming up. And sorry, we've got one more question here. Just to expand, will the test carry through the cart and checkout as well, or only the price shown to the customer? At this stage, it'll only show the price to the customer. If you want, you can also just create two separate products, and you can create a full page test between those. So we can create a new split test here. Oh, sorry, where are we? Over here. So we can create a new split test. And then we would choose our products here. So you'd choose product number. Not sure if we have our products. There we go. Long sleeve tee. Let it come up by itself. There it is, V-neck. So you would select the product this way. So when someone goes to the original pricing, the long sleeve tee page, that will then bounce them over to the page variation. So that would then carry the price on through the funnel and through your checkout and everything like that. As I said, the next update, when you do a WooCommerce test like this, you'll be choosing the original product, the new product, and then it'll update your pricing everywhere across the website. So at this stage, you can swap the product out or you can swap the price out, but not a combination of the two, as you're asking. But that is on our roadmap. So follow along if you need to have that one right away. Okay, so I'll throw it down here one more time just for anyone looking at home. If you want to use the discount code OPTIMIZE30, you'll get a 30% off any plan, lifetime, or anything at all. Yeah, whether it's an upgrade or anything like that. If you're having any trouble with it, feel free to just purchase the new plan and then shoot us a message and we can prorate refund or whatever we need to do to make you happy. Caleb says, thanks for doing the stream. Thank you, Caleb. Hopefully you didn't see it last week because it was absolutely rubbish and quite embarrassing. I don't think I'll delete this one the second this stream ends. But yeah, if you have any more questions or anything you want to see, feel free to hit me up in the comments right now. Otherwise, I'll just show you around a little bit more the new UI. We've changed a few things around to make things a lot easier than it has been in the past. So if you're on a version sort of 3 or 4 ago, it's definitely worth upgrading to one of the new ones. So one of the big things is, like we were talking about earlier with the average order visits, that's now the displayed metric in the test list. Before it had conversion rate, which didn't really make any sense. So that's there now. along with the conversion values. We also have little tags here. People were always asking, again, which test they were looking at, which one. A lot of us get lazy and just call it home test or call to action test or something like that. And then after a few months, you realize you've created 3 home tests or 3 call to action tests. So now at least you can distinguish between the on pages, the full page, the magic tests, or the code tests that are also available. Yeah, if you don't know about all the different test types, let me give you a quick tour of them. A lot of people are used to their existing split testing software that has probably only one of these features. So this is one of the big parts of A/B split test that I'm the most proud of, is that in pretty much any situation using WordPress, you can create a test. A lot of the other plugins, you've got to be using blocks, or you've got to be using widgets, or you've got to be using Elementor, or you've got to be using whatever little bit it is. A/B split test works on everything. It works inside your page builders. It works inside blocks, full pages, code, anything at all. And the same as the magic tests, you can just point and click. You don't have to look at anything at all. You don't have to even know what builder you're using. It could be completely hand coded by some guy 10 years ago, and you barely even have the login. You can still create a magic test in seconds. So we've seen those. We've seen the on-page elements. Those are the tests that we created when we were doing those pretend bricks tests. So basically anything at all you want, you go into your Beaver Builder, your blocks, bricks, Elementor, Oxygen, Bakery, Breakdance, all of them. And you do that advanced create a new test mode. You can also use CSS classes. So if you're a developer, or if you've got some HTML that you are using now inside a block element or anywhere at all, you can simply add these classes to that HTML. So you just tag it with the test ID and the variation name, create your second HTML element, and give it a different variation name, and that's it. Same thing with shortcodes. If you're still into shortcodes, you can use those. So that's an on-page element test. Test code. If you are a big CSS user, if you do a lot of JavaScript work, CSS and code tests might be something that you want to use. Most of the time, you're not going to want to use this. But if you're a developer, this is another differentiating factor that pretty much no other split testing plugin has. All you need to do with the code tests, create the test and choose how many variations you've got. So maybe you want to integrate a different checkout pop-up based on a split test to see which one's more effective. A lot of people like to test different chat widgets and different calendar embed widgets. If they're super JavaScripty and you can't just copy and paste them in, then test code is the way to do it. You check to see if the body has this class, and then you insert that. You insert one of the calendar widgets, or you can do it the other way, and you can, if it has this class, then you insert the other widget, and then it just follows on from there. So it's a bit of a tricky one to explain. There's lots and lots of different options. You could even just use this to change your font. You could say, if the body has this class and it's a heading, then make it sans serif or something like that. So it's really flexible, kind of a bit of a weird one to explain. Feel free to shoot us a message anytime, and we can help you get sorted with this. And a lot of the time, you don't even need to use this. Yeah, that's about all I've got for you today. Other than that, there are a few tiny bug fixes in our latest version, 1.9.2, that's coming out soon, today or tomorrow. And that is, if you have a dark mode website, like a dark home screen, sorry about, again, this ugliness. Previously, if you opened up the magic mode, the text was the white color was the wrong color. So we fixed that. And the same for the general AI suggestions pop-up. It's all the correct color now. But yeah, that's about it. If you want to jump on right now, Optimize 30 is the best discount you're going to get of any time. This is like the level of discount we do at Black Friday, Cyber November, all of that. So if you want to get the best price on A/B split test, it's available for the next couple of minutes. If not, shoot me a message, or if you have any questions or updates, we'd love to hear from you. Our new support girl, Abby, is so much better at customer support than I ever was. So I'm really excited to have her on, and for you guys to use her, as she has great suggestions and she's quick. So yeah, please shoot us a message anytime. Any feature requests, anything like that, let us know. If not, we're going to do another stream every week, or we're going to do our best to do one every week on Tuesdays at 9:30. Because of Easter, we were bumped this week. But yeah, join us next Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. My time. Or we'll leave the streams up, assuming I don't do a terrible job, and then you can watch them anytime here on YouTube. Yeah, other than that, please like and subscribe. Is that a thing? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out a lot more videos, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for coming along.